On local news,
Two former Elon football players are facing felony charges in court.
how some students are making their majors a little more personal.
And how one student is making a big statement with a little less hair.
All that and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening, I'm Perry Eliadarani.
And I'm Jackie Pascal. We begin tonight with information on two former Elon football players who are facing criminal charges. Former Elon football freshmen Khalil Moore and Jeremiah Bridges were in court today after being arrested Friday night. Our Paula Blanc has more.
Please listen up, folks.
Former Elon football players Khalil Moore and Jeremiah Bridges were in court today, beginning the legal process stemming from their arrest Friday night. Moore and Bridges were charged and arrested for felony secret peeping. According to an Alamance County arrest warrant, the two secretly filmed a female student in their Danieli dorm room without her consent for, quote, the purpose of sexual desire. According to Elon instructor and former prosecutor Jonathan Jones, the legal outcomes for Moore and Bridges might have more to do with their legal history before the incident.
It's a Class I felony, and North Carolina law defines pretty clearly a range of judgments that a judge can impose for Class I felony, and that's based entirely off their prior record. And so if someone has no previous record, then they'd be looking at a probationary sentence with 4 to 6 months of active jail time. And the jail time would be suspended while they're on probation.
Jones says it's likely the two won't see jail time unless they violate the terms of a possible probation period.
They'd be looking at a probationary sentence with 4 to 6 months of active jail time, and the jail time would be suspended while they're on probation.
How the video was handled could also change sentencing. Jones says if it was circulated or put on the internet, Moore and Bridges could be looking at a more severe punishment.
The other possibility is the judge could declare a person who's sharing the video as a danger to the public. And this is a charge that, should someone be convicted of, it's potential. It's not automatic, but it's potential that they could be placed on the sex offender registry.
Moore and Bridges will return to Alamance County Courthouse on May 10th, where their lawyers will make their opening arguments. Paula Blanc, Elon Local News.
While Moore and Bridges were put on indefinite suspension from the football team, both are still listed in the Elon student directory. For more information, visit our website at elonnewsnetwork.com.
Now, if you've been across the tracks lately, you may have noticed some construction on South Campus. Right next to South Gym, work has begun on a new recreation center. The building will feature a multi-purpose sports court as well as bathrooms and cubbies for students. The new facility, which will be connected to the adjacent South Gym, is scheduled to open in fall 2018. Elon University architect Brad Moore has overseen the plans for the new building.
The front doors, there'll be a check-in desk with the ability to check out campus rec materials. And then you go into this large gym with a full-size basketball court that can be used for indoor hockey, indoor soccer, what other events.
That the gym will be a lot like the park in Danieli and hopes it will attract students over to South Campus.
French citizens are looking towards a final vote next Sunday to elect their new president. Yesterday, Marine Le Pen, an extreme right candidate from the National Front Party, and Emmanuel Macron, a moderate candidate from the new party En Marche, were voted as the two leading candidates and will move on to the final round on May 7th. Liam Collins tells us more about what we can expect from this historic international election.
Started off as an election with 11 candidates, but only 4 emerged as legitimate contenders. Yesterday, voters narrowed their choices down to 2. Now, Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen will compete for the French presidency on May 7th, leading to a showdown between pro-EU candidate Macron and anti-EU candidate Le Pen. An associate professor of French, Dr. Sarah Glasgow, compared Le Pen's candidacy to a candidate in the 2016 U.S. presidential election.
Just like Donald Trump, a lot of people were like, she can't win, she can't win. And even if she wins in the first round, when we go to the second round, France will rally and they won't let her win.
And according to dual enrollment program student Théo Hardy, Le Pen and her party Front National, or FN, even 30 years ago would not have the chance of winning that they do now.
She was able to shift the French opinion like
Before, like when my parents were my age, it was like a sin to vote FN. Not a sin, but like it wasn't well seen at all.
Both Macron and Le Pen are known to be anti-establishment candidates, but what's really on the line is France's position in the European Union.
That's a very real possibility. There will be a Frexit. If France leaves the European Union, there's a lot of talk, really that just the European Union will collapse.
The divisiveness caused by this election will not go unnoticed. According to Business Insider, roughly 1/3 of French voters are planning to hand in a blank protest ballot.
A lot of people also say, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. I'm not going to vote. There's a lot of people saying that because they just don't trust anyone.
And while Americans might not be voting, Dr. Glasgow offers some advice for them to pay special attention to this election.
For those that didn't think Donald Trump could win, if you think that Marine Le Pen, this extreme right candidate, has no chance of winning, I think that you should think again and take a note from that experience.
Liam Collins, Elon Local News.
That vote will be held on Sunday, May 7th. But for continuing coverage on the presidential election in France, check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, and pick up a copy of The Pendulum on Wednesday.
Limelight Music Group and Innovation House co-hosted a music festival this weekend where they aim to highlight some of Elon's most talented student performers. Attendees enjoyed free food and music from Limelight artists like Generation Y. The band's singer, freshman Andrew Verdalis, said the event brought he and his bandmates closer together.
We are Generation Y. We just changed our name from the Millennials, actually. It was our first electric gig. The past 2 gigs we did were acoustic. But I think this was really good for our first electric gig since we're all pretty busy, but we found a lot of time and I think we really gelled together.
For more information on Limelight Music Group, you can check out their website, limelightmusicgroup.com. And coming up, find out how some students are making their own majors.
And how Ferris wheels and cotton candy are bringing springtime fun to Burlington. Back. Elon students are declaring independent majors, allowing them to cater to their own Elon experience. Our Alex Rote has more.
Over the past few years, there's been a new major on the rise at Elon, the independent major. Elon is one of 20 universities around the country offering the option for students to become independent majors, a program allowing students to develop their own path and coursework, pulling together courses in ways that best suit their needs. Beth Lester, one of the 11 independent majors at Elon, is pursuing a career in industrial design, a program that Elon didn't offer, but she still chose Elon because of its liberal arts background.
There's much less of a focus on pursuing other passions, or for me it's world language. I really wanted to be able to continue with world language studies.
In order to declare an independent major, a student must have completed under 66 semester hours with a minimum GPA of 3.0, as well as a student-designed interdisciplinary capstone course plan, on top of taking 28 semester hours in a 300-400 level class. Because of the difficult application and the planning, there are only 11 independent majors on campus, but the number and the opportunities are rising.
Well, I've seen some very successful ones that have come through that have been good for the students. I've also seen a few that have led to the departments deciding to offer majors that just because there's more demand for them. So it's been a good process.
This year, the program received more applications for the upcoming fall semester than the program has ever seen before, and these independent majors understand the appeal.
It needs to be something unique, something that Elon really doesn't have here, that you can create kind of a little corner for yourself.
Alex Rote, Elon Local News.
For more information, you can visit the independent major page at elon.edu/independent.
One of Elon's experiences, as you may know, is academic research. And 15 sophomores found out they have $15,000 of funding to take their research projects to the next level over the next 2 years. $10,000 of the money can be spent towards tuition, and the rest is spent on anything from conferences to lab supplies. The Lumen Prize is an annual competitive application process, and although the committee does not release the exact number, the acceptance rate is anywhere between 30 to 60% each year. Director of the Lumen Prize, Ann Cahill, says what makes the winners stand out is not always clear.
It's such an interesting and difficult combination of factors.
Factors like originality, a strong background knowledge of the field they're studying, and the ability to explain their project to anyone.
But we also want to see that this is a scholar who's really ready to take the reins of their undergraduate education and really turn it into something quite unusual.
To learn more about this year's recipients and their projects, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
The smell of cotton candy and the sound of roller coasters coming from the Holly Hill Mall were sure signs of spring this past week. The carnival set up last week in the parking lot of Holly Hill Mall and ran until this past Saturday. According to the manager, Mark Janis, the carnival does a lot more for the Burlington community than it create memorable experiences.
A lot into the economy because like everybody else, we go to the local movie theater, the mall, the restaurants, if we need tires or gas, fuel, that type of thing. So, you know, like anybody else, we put a lot of money back into the community.
The company even put student discounts in Mosley Student Center, where you could get $2 off of an all-access wristband. This was the 6th year the carnival was held at the mall, and the company's goal is to make it an annual event for Elon's students. And if you weren't able to attend this year, the company says the games and fun will be back next April.
Oh, sounds like fun.
I know. I'm sad that I missed it. I definitely meant to go a few days ago, but gosh darn it, the rain. The rain really messed up my plans that night.
And the rest of this week, it looks like.
Yeah, we'll get on that later, definitely.
Oh, man. Well, as the school year winds down, many students' projects are coming to a close. This week at Elon is Celebrate Week, an annual tradition that celebrates student achievement. And there are several opportunities to check out what your fellow students they've been working real hard on. Tomorrow is Student Undergrad Research Forum, or SURF Day, which kicks off with a special college coffee at the Great Hall in Global Commons. That's at 9:30 a.m. Research presentations will be held across campus throughout the day, and SURF will end at 4:30 p.m. with a closing reception in the Great Hall.
Following Surf Day presentations, you can head on over to Turner Theater for the Elon Docs documentary showcase at 7 p.m. Several audio, photo, and video documentaries will be shown by Elon Docs members, followed by a Q&A session with the filmmakers. And throughout the week, Elon Dining and Campus Kitchen will be holding their 5-for-1 food drive to benefit the Salvation Army and allied churches of Alamance County. Any student, faculty, or staff member who brings 5 non-perishable food items to Lakeside Dining Hall will receive a free meal. For more details on these events and more, a full schedule of Celebrate Week events can be found on Elon's website.
Hey guys, I'm Diego Pineda, reporter for Elon News Network, and I'm here to tell you guys about this week's top story for the edition of The Pendulum. So the story is basically about sexual assault. I interviewed 2 victims, now survivors. I interviewed them about their assault, their effects after it, and how they went about reporting their assault to the different resources Elon offers. I also address society's stigmas, as well as other resources that Elon offers its victims of sexual assault, as well as its allies. So make sure to grab a copy of The Pendulum this Wednesday.
And also coming up next, with pollen levels on the rise, find out how to fight those seasonal sniffles.
I'm Rachel Ellis with your Phoenix 5-day forecast right after the break. Stick with us.
First live shot.
Good evening, Jackie and Perry. Well, as you can see, it is still raining, and it really hasn't stopped since this morning. And if you want to look big picture, it hasn't stopped since Friday afternoon. But with this dreary news comes some great news. We'll be seeing some more sun and some more less rain into the coming days. Also, looking into your Phoenix 5-day forecast, tomorrow we will be seeing a high of 65 and a low of 55 with some showers, but there won't be consistent rain, which is great. And on Wednesday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 82 and a low of 61, which is even better news than Tuesday because there will be no rain. And on Thursday, it will be sunny with a high of 85 and a low of 65. And on Friday, partly cloudy, but still no rain, so that's great news for your weekend with a high of 82 and a low of 62. So this upcoming weekend is going to look a lot more sunnier than last and a lot more sunnier than what we're seeing right now. As you can see, downtown Elon is just drenched, but we have some great news into the week. So Jackie and Perry, back to you.
Thank you, Rachel. You definitely gave me some good news to look forward to.
Wednesday.
Yeah, looking forward to Wednesday and the rest of the week with the sun and the no rain. Thank you so much for that.
So excited.
But with all that pollen in the air, it's probably going to come back now that the rain clears away. And you might feel like your allergies have been worse than ever this year, and there might be a reason behind it. Our Grace Morris has the story.
With spring in full swing, many people have been complaining about seasonal allergies. And between the sneezing, coughing, and watery eyes, there is actually a reason your pollen allergies are worse than normal this year. In recent years, the average pollen count has been rising. Pollen count is measured by grains of pollen per cubic meter of air, and due to climate change and increasing carbon dioxide levels, pollen counts are higher than previous years. According to National Climate Assessment, quote, climate change and increasing carbon dioxide levels are making the pollen counts higher. Longer growing seasons, along with higher temperatures and carbon dioxide levels, can increase pollen production, intensifying and lengthening the allergy season, end quote. Up to 30% of adults and 40% of children suffer from pollen allergies, and if you're one of them, here are some things you can do to help yourself during the heightened allergy season. Eat local honey before the start of spring, and this will help jumpstart your immune system and make you less susceptible to pollen. Close all doors and windows and turn on the air conditioning. Put filters in your air conditioning or a dehumidifier in your room, and this will help kill pollen spores in the air. Take off your shoes before entering your home, and if you have pets, make sure to wash them. And of course, allergy medicines always help to relieve your allergy symptoms. While allergies might be bad now, pollen counts tend to go down during June and July, so you'll be feeling better in no time. Grace Morris, Elon Local News.
And if your allergies get worse, you can visit the health center for additional information on how to treat them. And after the break, we talked to one Elon student who made a big change to show her support in the fight against cancer.
I'm Alex Ofori, and I'll be giving you a recap from this weekend's CAA tennis tournaments after the break.
Welcome back. A pediatric cancer survivor and Elon sophomore braved the shave this Saturday to show her support for children affected by the disease that changed her life.
Diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, a cancer of the white blood cells, Caroline Red learned what it meant to deal with a life-threatening illness at just 4 years old. To show support for children affected by cancer, Red shaved her head on Saturday at the 3rd annual Brave the Shave event at Natty Green's Brew House in Greensboro. The event was sponsored by the St. Baldrick's Foundation, a charitable organization that raises money for childhood cancer research grants.
It's just standing in solidarity with all of my fellow cancer patients and survivors and the ones who didn't make it, and I think it would mean a lot to them, so it feels good.
While Red feels she's made the right decision, she's unsure she would shave her head again.
People with hair.
I think this was the perfect time in my life to have done this. I'm not sure if I would have done it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but I think this is the perfect time. And I know everyone says this is a hard time, but why not? It's a great time.
Traveling from Georgia to attend Brave the Shave, Red's mother was overcome with memories of Caroline during her battle with cancer.
When you first hear your child has leukemia or any kind of cancer, it's like an out-of-body experience. You're standing over thinking, is this a dream or is this not? And so kind of going through this today brings back a lot of memories.
Red's mother said she was filled with admiration for her daughter for making this brave statement.
I'm just very proud of her for going through this, because it's a very hard thing to go through with life. Just kind of shaving your head like that, it's such a, I don't know, everybody looks at your hair and how you dress and how you look.
By the end of the event, the St. Baldrick's Foundation surpassed their goal of $15,000 and instead raised over $23,000. And for Red, she is not quite yet used to her shaven head.
It's a little surreal, but it feels good so far. It's weird to touch my head and have nothing there.
Rachel Ellis, Elon Local News.
For more information on the St. Baldrick's Foundation and Brave the Shave, check out their website, stbaldricks.org, or this week's edition of The Pendulum.
It was quite a weekend for the Phoenix, and our Alex Safori here in the studio talk about the CAA tennis tournament. Alex, what's going on?
I'm doing well, thanks, Perry. Elon finished their tennis seasons of the CAA tournament with losses at home. The men's team was ranked number 2, but lost to number 3 seeded William & Mary with a final score of 4-1. Head coach Michael Leonard said the team just wasn't set up to win.
This is a team I knew this was going to be a tough match for us, and we were going to have to play really well. And we just didn't play well enough in certain spots. I mean, we had a couple guys just didn't play the way they're capable of, and if that happens in crucial situations, you're probably not going to win.
You can check the score online. Perry and Jackie, back to you.
Thanks, Alex. Yep, those stories will be online later, but that's all the news we have for you today.
Thank you for joining us, and always you can check out Elon Local News on Facebook, on Twitter, elonlocalnews.com.
Have a great night. Thanks for watching.